Surprise, surprise, the theme song's playing. I don't even have the microphones reset. Hey, it's Monday.
It's Monday. One thing you can say about us is we're on the ball, right?
We're sitting here discussing all kinds of issues, and all of a sudden, hey, isn't that the theme song? Guess we better get to work. So's Mike.
Good.
Yeah?
Yep. Ready for Christmas?
Yeah. I'm getting there. Yeah, put the tree up tonight. I use a live tree, and I keep it up about 2 weeks. So I'll put the tree up today, finish it out tomorrow, and take it down over the weekend, January 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, we got a good supply of Fraser firs, balsam firs, and Douglas fir trees in all the box stores. So yeah. Choose a live tree.
Live trees are neat.
Yeah, they smell really good. Yeah. And the good thing about them, you can store all the decorations in a few boxes, and then I think, is it Arkansas Game and Fish or the Corps of Engineers? Somebody can collect. You take the trees, and then they use them for fish shelter,
right?
For spawning.
Way back when I was a little old kid, I had to be 5 or 6 years old, maybe somewhere in there. We had an old cat that my mom had. It was our pet, female. She had her litter of kittens, 4 or 5. We went to town one day. Came home, and the Christmas tree's just full of little old kittens. There's little old cats sitting all in that Christmas tree. Somewhere, and I don't know, it's probably lost into time. But I remember my mom dragging out one of those cameras. You take the picture, and then it would spit it out.
Oh, Polaroid.
Polaroid. And you'd stand there and shake it like that was helping, I guess. Waiting on, she got a picture of the Christmas tree full of cats.
Yeah. That reminds me of that cartoon, what is it, Mickey's Christmas, with, what's the dog, Pluto, where they're chasing the chipmunks up?
Sure did. That was neat.
Oh, maybe we've got people laughing this morning.
So, if they're not laughing with us, they ought to be laughing at us.
Yeah. So what's going on at Mechanic? Got a full slate of activities this week, 14 through 18. Going to be open 8 to 5 this week?
Every day. We had a lot. Last week was kind of a funny week. We started off a little bit slow, and man, about Wednesday or so, it picked up, and boom. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we were just about as busy as that place could be. And, who knows what this week will bring. We're starting off with a kind of an old cold, windy day today. I don't know how busy we'll be, but I bet it'll be busy enough.
Yeah. Got time for a couple questions?
Sure.
Got a Chevy Cavalier. Makes a popping noise when turning right. Gets worse when you throttle up. So that sounds like a constant velocity joint.
It is, most likely.
Pop one out, pop one in.
Yep. CV joints or CV axles showed up big time on front-wheel drive vehicles. You see a few rear-wheel drive cars and trucks that have an independent rear suspension that also have CV axles.
On the rear?
On the rear. Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, your four-wheel drive trucks, the half-ton versions anymore, have got CV axles, too. My truck's got them.
Yep. On the drive axle?
Yeah.
For
the front.
Oh, the front, yeah.
For the front differential.
Yeah.
And but they predominantly you see these things on front wheel drive cars. And it's two joints, two flexible joints with an axle in the middle. And the one on the outside, the one closest to the tire, that's what allows you to go around corners. Mm-hmm. It allows your wheels to turn. And they provide power. They send power from the transmission out to the wheels. That's what pulls you down the road in a front-wheel drive car. Mm-hmm. And those CV joints are surrounded by a flexible rubber boot, kind of a bellows-looking thing, And inside there is a lubricant. And with time and weather and so many times of flexing going around corners, eventually those boots can tear. Well, when they tear, in short order, they throw the lubricant out of them. That doesn't take long. And then on a day like yesterday, when you're out driving around town with one of those with a bad CV boot, the lubricant gets thrown out of it, and the water gets in. Or if you drive down dirt roads, water gets in, and so does dirt, grit, and everything else. And that eats up those CV joints rather quickly.
One thing that I've seen on some of those back in my day was, you got to know, some guys wouldn't get a truck, they'd have my fishing car.
Yeah.
Okay, it may have been a nice little... Chevy Cavalier was a good, reliable car.
Yeah.
And you go down and been a few fishermen down there, and there's a wad of fishing line that gets wrapped around that axle, and you don't know it, and it cut the fishing line. It'll say you had 8 or 9 pound test. Man, it'll cut the
yes.
boots right in half.
We see that. We still see fishing line. And
Really?
I'll tell you what, yeah. I'll tell you what we see a lot of, and it's seasonal, and that's baling twine off of bales of hay.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Farmers and they'll get out there and they'll get that wrapped around the drive shaft, and it'll chew the pinion seal out of the rear differential.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, we see that.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, baling. Hey,
you are kidding.
Baling twine. Sure do. You see that.
They get in the pinion seal.
Yeah, and it'll eat it out. Man, there'll be grease thrown everywhere.
Oh, I
Sure
never
will.
thought of that one. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen.
Yep. Oh, but the CVs, used to we would disassemble the front end on that car and replace the boot or just replace one joint. I don't even hardly know if you can buy a CV boot anymore or just one joint. Everybody's just popping in an axle.
Your money ahead just to take an axle out and put everything's new.
Yeah, the labor is less. It's quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's new. Exactly. You're not trying to save something that may be 90% worn out, and it works out great. So everybody anymore basically just pops a new axle in, and you're back on the road, and that gets rid of your popping noise, and you've got good CV boots on there, so you can't throw lube out.
Yeah.
And they work fine. We've been dealing with CVs now for 30 years,
yeah,
probably.
30 years, yeah.
Yeah, thereabouts or more.
I guess what K-Car came out with them.
About 80, wasn't it?
When did Yeah, 80, 81, yeah, in that, yeah.
Somewhere back in there is whenever we first started seeing the front-wheel drive cars. Citations.
Yeah,
Chevy Citation.
K-Car from Chrysler.
Ford Escort.
Yeah.
So, they work fine, and we just have to pay attention to those things. And whenever we're doing an oil change, if you bring your car in at a Minute Mechanic, we look at CV boots and things, and we see them fairly regular that's got leakage on them. Yep, sure do. It's not a big deal.
Baling twine around the pinion seal.
Yes, you will.
Wow.
Absolutely. Every once in a while, you'll see some baling wire. Somebody run over a piece of wire and wrap it up.
Well, you see that on exhaust.
Yep.
I used to call it beer can exhaust. For the longest time, I thought Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis was the largest manufacturer of exhaust products.
Well, they've made a few, yeah.
Remember the old days, the inspections?
Yep.
And the guy at the inspection station, he'd cover that tailpipe and you got a leak. Okay, you run it back in, you find the leak, and cut that old can in two and tie the baling wire around the exhaust pipe and take it back. Yeah, you fix that leak, Yep. Yeah, till the baling wire falls off.
Yeah, I just remember the inspections when I was a kid. We've not had inspections since probably the mid-'90s. But
Thank you, Mike Huckabee.
Yeah, it was just kind of a...
Actually, Mike Huckabee went in and worked at DMV one day. He said, "What do you mean inspections?" So he went to an inspection station. They weren't doing anything but honking the horn and blinking the lights.
Bingo. I was going to say, that's where I was headed with that story. Is when they did an inspection on me, they'd tell me to pull up in front of this door. And I'd pull up and they go, blow your horn, beep, beep, turn on your headlights, bright lights. Okay, you're good. And that's about what an inspection,
It was stupid.
Yeah.
But yet you could have ball joints or idler arms so bad you never got it up and checked the suspension or the tires.
Or brakes. Yeah, I know. But that was the extent of an inspection back in the day here in the state of Arkansas. Now, I know other places have got much more detailed inspections, but that's what we did here.
That's how it was.
Yeah, that's a fact. I lived that.
Anyway, another question. Price shocks for my 08 Yukon Denali. Why are they outrageous? Probably gas-loaded shocks.
Well, they are, and plus, Dale, and now this is one of those things that I don't know the vehicle, so I can't get specific, but Yukon Denali's, the top-of-the-line Tahoe, some of the Cadillac Escalade, you see with the ride control suspension.
Oh, okay.
And, man, the shock absorbers and stuff for those things get astronomical right now. They get high, very high.
What's an average per
shock?
Don't
get me. Nobody will replace them.
Oh, really? Is that a dealer item, you think?
Yeah. They first started, you saw vehicles come out with like an air shocks in the back. Yeah. And that was a load leveler suspension. So if you had all the kids from the baseball team or something, you were pulling a boat, that the air compressor in the vehicle would kick on, air those shocks up, and it would let you maintain a level ride height. those air shocks and stuff weren't that bad to replace. We've done a lot of those. As time went on and things got more complicated and technology moved on, we got into these electronically controlled shock absorbers. They change all the time. They are in General Motors has really got into that in some of the Cadillac products with electronic shocks. And I'm drawing a blank. They even have a fancy name for it, and I'm not coming up with it. But the shocks can change in milliseconds and actually kind of contour to the road some. If you're going around crooked, hilly roads, they can firm themselves up and give you a more controlled ride. If you're out loafing down the interstate, they can soften up and give you a smoother ride. They are pretty darned amazing products. But if you have one go bad, they're expensive. You know these things by opening the hood. You can like a Tahoe or a Yukon, you can open the hood and take a flashlight and shine down there at the top of the shock.
Yeah,
and there's electrical wires running into it. Then you know they're going to be high. And you remember back in the days.
Wow.
What are you doing over there, Dale?
Whoa. Well, I've logged into like a parts house.
Yeah.
And I put in 2008 GMC Yukon XL 1500 SLT with a 325 5.3 liter two-wheel drive. The Monroe strut, $390. The Monroe shock, $430.
Yep.
And that's just the walk-in, take-it-out price.
Yep.
That's per unit.
That's per shock. And that's why I'm saying nobody will replace them. I mean, it's going to have to be desperate times for people to do that because that's a lot of money. Yeah.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. Now you remember back in the day when you could buy a shock for $8.99.
Yeah.
Now, admittedly, they wasn't any good, but they were what we had back then. And now when you get into this stuff, this electromagnetic ride control, wow.
Yeah.
But it comes with it kind of comes with the territory when you get into these higher dollar SUVs, sports cars. You see that on a lot of Cadillacs.
Uh-huh.
The CTS, some of those sportier cars.
I had no idea they were that high.
I knew they were high, but I didn't want to quote a price. And it all plays in, and I believe I'm correct with this. So many of our vehicles now have along with the ride control, they have vehicle control, stability control, whatever you want to call it. And
so that shock absorber has to be able to react to the computer.
And the computer can do many, many things in a fraction of a second.
Computerized shocks.
Yep.
That's what it boils down to.
Yep. And wow, yeah, the person that went and priced them, they may need to give them a nitroglycerin tablet. Well, sir, it'll be $1,600 for your shocks
plus labor.
Yep.
Wow, I had no idea, but that's the day and time we live in. Computerized shocks.
It is, and we see so much now. Our cars are amazing devices that can do things that we never dreamed possible. If back in the 50s, if we would have talked about what cars would be doing today,
oh my goodness,
people might have burned you at the stake or something.
Well, just a phone like this, just an iPhone in 1955.
And here we are.
Now
we're living it. Now, what will 20 more years bring us? I don't know. But the stuff gets expensive.
Meet George Jetson.
We got all this technological accessories, and they're all neat and they're just as fun as they can be. The downside is when they go bad, trying to pay for them, it can be a little bit tough.
Mmmm Mechanics located on Highway 201 North across from Salvation Army. You got plenty of time to get folks in?
Well, absolutely. Give me a shout. We'll get you in here and take care of you.
425-3135. All major brands of motor oils, top grade filters.
Yes, and lots of it. They delivered a bunch last Monday.
And probably the windshield wipers probably wore out after yesterday if you get out.
Yeah, this might be a good day for windshield wipers because it rained a bunch, didn't it?
I think I put about 200 miles on mine yesterday. Yeah, I hit the rain at the Mississippi River coming west.
Did you?
Yeah, right at where I-55 and 155 join right there. So
yeah, we got plenty of wipers if somebody's needing to have theirs checked out. We got loads of them.
Give Mike a call today, and let's plan ahead, because if you're traveling for the holidays, don't wait till the last minute, folks. Get in this week. He's open Monday through Friday this week, 8 to 5, 425-3135. Mike and the gang are ready to serve you. Brings us up to news time. We'll be right back.